Yeah, would you tell us about some of the other activities you do? Specifically, maybe tell us about your major, or do you do any other clubs?
Yeah, sure. So, a little bit about my major. My major is interior design and
That's
it's
nice.
fun. I really enjoy designing. When you're designing spaces, that can be very challenging. You have to think about where the room is,
Mm-hmm.
then lighting and safety, fire escape, let's
Of
say.
course.
So, those are all things you think about. You also have to consider like material that you're using. Is it safe for humans? For them to breathe? Like, would it give them issues? Or maybe if a fire happens, is it gonna, catch flame?
Sure.
Absolutely.
And so do you do a lot of like, I'd imagine you do that a lot on computers, like 3D modeling of spaces?
Oh, yeah.
Like you have like a bunch of materials and you're like putting them like couch here, bed. Like what does that actually look like? What is the job of a, I mean, if you, I guess you're still in school, so you might not know, but what does the job of an interior designer actually look like?
Yeah. That is my least favorite part, to be
Oh, okay.
honest. I'm like not the best with technology.
Hmm.
So that was a challenge. When we had to do the first and second year, you do a lot of 3D modeling. You have to do a 3D display in Revit
Yeah, I've used Revit.
and Adobe as well. So,
Okay.
and Photoshop. So,
Okay.
different applications. I learned all of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, in Revit, it's fun to design, but the software is so annoying. One little mistake
Yeah.
and you have to change or like go back so many steps. So
Oh.
it can be really annoying. And
Yeah.
you can miss details sometimes.
Remember, I had to design a house in Revit for a club when I was in high school, and I really I didn't enjoy it very much.
Nah.
I found the software to be kind of clunky and it was unintuitive. It didn't make sense to me. But yeah, so I can totally see that. Yeah.
Yeah. For now, I'm used to Revit. So in my school, we use that like as our main technology. So one second, I'm
Okay.
gonna
Yeah.
type it out real quick. There are different softwares, SketchUp
Oh yeah, I've used
and
Gotcha.
SketchUp.
Yeah.
AutoCAD.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, those two are much more user friendly.
Interesting. Well, yeah, SketchUp you have to do things a lot more manually. So SketchUp you're actually like placing lines and stuff to make bodies out of scratch, whereas Revit's like, yeah, it's all pre-packaged in, and you have to use all of Revit stuff. It seems like, or you have to download packages of stuff rather than being able to just make stuff from scratch like SketchUp. I don't know if that's your experience, but that's mine with those two softwares.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine's
right.
the
I
same
mean,
experience. With Revit, it's all about technology or technical.
yeah,
So you really have to understand before you apply the different things.
yeah,
And
okay,
I've watched many tutorials on it.
okay, yeah.
But with SketchUp, it's just more straightforward. You can
Interesting.
just, it's more visual and more friendly to the user. Like there's one thing, you can see the icons, and so you would know like what it means. So that is definitely much more helpful than Revit.
Gotcha.
Like yeah, they're just you can look at them and you're like, oh, I know what this does. This is just a common item, or just like yeah, like a hand move stuff for a little. Uh, the revolve tool looks like you're revolving something, or yeah, it's just intuitive. But what are some other parts of your major that are you like more? Or, like, what's your favorite part?
The ironic part is I do love to design on Revit.
Nice.
Huh.
Okay.
That's the funny part. Fun part, excuse me.
Yeah.
That's because I can put in my ideas and just play around with a room, kind of
Yeah.
design it how I want. So it's a little ironic. I have a love-hate relationship with
Yeah,
Revit.
That
interesting.
makes sense.
So when I think about interior design, I guess I think about like Joanna Gaines on HGTV. But you know, this makes me think a lot more about like what actually goes into it. It's not just making things look nice. It's thinking about, like you said, the safety, the fire, the utility. And we were talking about this the other day actually, but you were saying how obviously there's not just home interior design, but there's commercial buildings and for different things. So which of those is your favorite?
Yeah, that's the challenge. Finding out what I connect to is pretty difficult. I feel like with home design, it is a challenge. You have to understand your consumer, and that's the biggest thing. So you almost have to be a therapist
Interesting. Eight.
with communication and with commercial. Excuse me. So with commercial, it's more formal
Yep.
and professional.
Well, I bet you know what the commercial places are looking for. Like if they want like a lobby or something, you know what kind of vibe that should have. Whereas I'd imagine with someone's home, you're right, they have so many different interests and they have more personal use cases for it. You really have to get in their head, I'd imagine. Yeah, that's
Exactly that. When you're designing a home, you really have to ask your consumer about everything. How do you use your house? Like, what do you want to see inside? What do you want to remove?
yeah.
What's your favorite color?
Yeah.
So, how much light do you want? Do you want it to be really bright, really not? So there's a lot of things.
So I'd imagine a lot of the home design is meeting with the client and like really sort of getting to know them and knowing their tastes.
Of course.
As opposed to like
Definitely.
an airport maybe would probably be a lot different. Well, I guess
Who designed those chairs in the airports? I find those kind of uncomfortable.
well, I guess that wouldn't that's not really your realm, right?
I don't know,
Designing
yeah.
Of course.
I don't think so. I'm still new, so like maybe it could be. But I think it's mostly like engineers
Yeah,
Yeah.
hate those
that
guys.
design those.
Dude.
They
Oh,
don't
that's
know-
us.
they don't know
Did
what
we
they
design
do.
the chairs wrong?
Maybe.
Oh no. Well, yeah. So which side of? Oh yeah.
My dad's an engineer, so
Okay, blame
Very
him.
cool.
Yeah.
yep.
Which side of industrial and kind of a homey interior design are you more interested in? Did you say?
I would say commercial.
Yeah.
That is more thinking about your brand.
Hmm.
So, like, you're able to be creative in those ways, and that shows off your brand. Compared to home interior design, like, I do love to and do interior design for home. It's fun, but I don't always, I'm not always ready to talk with consumers, I would say.
Oh.
Oh, that's true. That's another aspect of it, of course, is like here at RIT, you have great support of having interpreters pretty much readily available for you. But when you go into industry, have you thought about like how that access is going to change?
Yeah. Sometimes I do worry about that. I do have hearing friends who don't know ASL. And so I use like closed captions, you can
Right.
see right here.
Right.
And so I'm more comfortable with closed captions, I would say, because English is my first language. And ASL is like sort of still translating within my brain when I see it.
Ah.
So The challenge is that I can't speak for myself. Like this app, it will type everything out, but it's still missing that personal like
Of
feeling
course,
to
of
talk
course.
with someone, not like a automated voice. So that does make me a little bit nervous. Is just finding that right balance. Finding maybe an interpreter and then also using closed captions.
Right.
Just trying to find the most accessibility for myself.
Absolutely.
Wait, just one more thing on interior design. I'm curious. RIT has a lot of orange, and they work orange into every single design of everything. Every dorm, every lounge has to have a little bit of orange in it. How do you feel about that? Do you like that? No, yeah,
No,
okay.
I hate it.
Yes, yeah, I don't like it either.
Orange is a nice color,
Can
but
be.
RIT ruined it.
They ruined orange. Oh, that's a good way of
So,
putting it. Yeah, that's
President Munson, if you're hearing this, actually, well,
Yeah.
he
President-
new president. If you're hearing this, Sanders, Bill Sanders, if you're hearing this,
Fix
maybe consider doing a little color change. Maybe make our RIT blue. I don't
yeah,
know.
like Beyond Me Blue. Like
Right.
there's a lot of
Right.
other colors.
Maybe green. That would be a nice color.
Green is nice.
Green is nice
Interesting.
with orange.
Interesting. Oh, green.
Really,
That's the one challenge of interior design is finding the right color match and color schemes.
I think starting with orange is just always gonna fail, in my opinion.
Orange is not physically a bad color.
Well,
Orange scenery rule. I'm just gonna type it out real quick. Secondary. It's a secondary color. So
Oh,
it's
interesting.
not the best color to work with.
So what is the best color to work with?
or it's just not a good first color, primary.
Yeah, it's not a good first color to work with is orange. Like you could work with like specific shades of blue,
Mm.
sometimes dark green, that works.
Mm.
Mostly you have to think about like the light, how it looks when you see it, because the light will like affect the colors. So
course.
when you're outside or if you're inside, that's going to look very different depending on the lighting.
Oh, so true.
Right.
So
Interesting.
I know like a lot of modern homes are sort of shifting to a lot more straight edges, blockier looks, black and white. You know, like so yeah, I'm looking at your face. You don't like that?
No, I don't. In my opinion, I think they're trying too hard to look good,
Mm.
to look like modern.
So it's like it's they're going too far. It's like
Going
ultra
too
modern.
simple. I think is it like modern is really pretty simple. A lot of architecture, right?
Yeah.
And then just weird.
Yeah, it's just too standardized. Like it looks all the same. Bless you.
So
Thank you.
do you have like a favorite? I mean, I guess this is sort of more into the architectural side, but do you have a favorite look? Like if you don't like modern, do you have a certain, like decade or era that you like the best or?
I love transitional and mixed and traditional and modern.
Ah.
I'm gonna type this out real quick. One sec. Craftsman. There's a lot of wood, and it feels more homey. So that's one of my favorite styles.
I like that too.
Mid-century as well.
Mm.
That's another style I like. So I'd say those two: Craftsman and mid-century.
Crafts in mid-century.
Gotcha. But just not
Wow.
blocky white, like totally like all glass or all like, yeah, black and white with a Tesla in the driveway. I'm looking at Liam because
Yeah, exactly.
I could see
Dude,
Liam's
my
house
dad
being
is
like
definitely into that architecture.
Yeah?
I used to be, but I like more classic stuff now a lot more. I'm
Little
starting to
homier.
appreciate yeah, a little
Yeah.
cultured living space. Homier,
Of
absolutely.
course.
Very nice.
Now you're not brainwashed anymore.
Yeah, I think
Well,
so.
hold on. I think he's still brainwashed by some other things, but maybe that's for another episode.
Well, I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah.
So you're also on the Frisbee team, as you mentioned. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. I joined to play Frisbee for my first semester. Intramural.
Intramural, right.